Christine Persichetti. A Queens community is grieving an NYPD crossing guard taken too soon. The 63-year-old was hit and killed at a busy Woodhaven intersection on Friday, and it was at that same spot that dozens of people came to honor her life at a candlelight vigil Monday night. Currents News' Katie Vasquez was there.
Christina Naprava was a mother, a grandmother, a parishioner at St. Helen Church in Howard Beach, and a beloved crossing guard for more than a decade. But at this same spot where she safely shepherded kids to school, her own life was lost, a life that was remembered by those who knew her best.
Reset, hold!
From police to parents to the people who loved her most, dozens came to light a candle and say goodbye to Christina. Her daughter, son, and other family, too grief-stricken to speak, except to say they will miss her, and she's their angel. Christina spent 13 years at the corner of Woodhaven Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue, helping kids get to school. And it was while she was doing that job, helping 5 people cross the street, when the NYPD say a driver in a dump truck hit her. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver received a desk appearance ticket for failing to yield to a pedestrian and failure to use due care. Despite her tragic passing, this community and the kids that knew her best are choosing to remember her warm smile and positive attitude.
She always waved to me hi, and I always tell her at the end of the day when I usually come home, I always tell her, oh, I'll see you tomorrow every single day. And I always see her like replying to me, brightening up my day with her smile every single day.
Every day we would have a conversation. She would ask me how I am, what's going on in the community, how's the weather, and just that simple interaction brought warmth to me. You know, reassurance that there's somebody in the community that cares.
Christina's funeral is on Thursday at her home parish of St. Helens. Elected officials have vowed to make this intersection safer for the community. In Woodhaven, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
New York City's Department of Transportation is reporting the number of pedestrian fatalities dropped in 2022 than from the year before. In 2022, the city registered 118 pedestrian deaths, down from 126 in 2021. That number is an even further drop from the death toll in 2013, the year before the implementation of the city's Vision Zero initiative. That year, there were 184 deaths reported. Breaking down those deaths by borough, the DOT actually notes Brooklyn and Queens saw the highest percentage of pedestrian fatalities in the city between the years of 2017 and 2021. Brooklyn registered at 34%, followed by Queens with 28%, Manhattan at 19%, the Bronx at 14%, and Staten Island at 5%. Turning now to the Catholic Foundation for Brooklyn and Queens, the nonprofit that supports several diocese initiatives is celebrating a milestone anniversary. It's been 25 years since the foundation was started. Since then, an endowment of nearly $90 million has grown to back education, evangelization efforts, youth ministry, and the social needs of the Diocese of Brooklyn. At a lunch on Tuesday, the foundation honored those who have been a driving force since the beginning. Among them, Monsignor John Bracken, the Diocese of Brooklyn's vicar for patrimony.
If a person gave a single dollar more than 25 years ago, that dollar is still here. It's never been spent. The only thing that's ever been spent is the income from the money that was raised. And today we look forward to the future.
We are really presenting ourselves to the diocese as a community foundation, and we're just really focused on our grant process and see what we can do. And lastly, if we can, we're going to diversify and grow our revenue.
To date, the foundation has given out $100 million in grants. Developing news now as the war between Israel and Hamas escalates. The terrorist group has released 2 hostages. One of the Israeli citizens, an 85-year-old grandmother, is now telling her story, saying she went through hell. Moments 2 elderly hostages, now free from the grip of Hamas, thought might never come. One of the released hostages says she was kidnapped on a motorbike and taken to Gaza. The 85-year-old is likening her time with the group to going through hell.
She's really the first person that have been with other people there, and I think she's very aware that she can pass on information.
Their medical condition is okay. They're talking. At first, we immediately brought them to their family members. It was a very, very emotional meeting.
Meanwhile, in Gaza, people frantically search for survivors in buildings that have been bombed to ruins. The Palestinian Ministry of Health reporting more than 700 people have been killed in a bloody 24-hour period. And without much needed fuel being withheld in humanitarian aid deliveries, Gaza's hospitals are facing the possibility of mass casualty situations.
Without electricity, this hospital will just be a mass grave.
As attacks escalate, the Israeli military says it's now waiting for a green light on a ground invasion.
Hamas is responsible for civilian casualties, but we will do every effort to avoid them and to fight this war as speedily and as rapidly as we can, but it could be a long war.
To any state or non-state actor that is considering opening another front in this conflict against Israel, or who may target Israel's partners, including the United States. Don't throw fuel on the fire.
The 85-year-old hostage says she was beaten with sticks when she was first taken, but while being held in Gaza, she says she was treated well. Her 83-year-old husband remains a hostage. The Diocese of Brooklyn will be praying for peace this Friday. It's part of Pope Francis's call for Catholics to pray and fast on October 27th. And Brooklyn Bishop Robert Brennan hopes it can finally unite the two warring sides.
People have a right to express opinions, to express political concerns, but when it gets into anti-Semitism, really racism at any level, that's degrading to the human person. And quite honestly, that's a sin against God. So we're not asking God to change his mind on something. Whenever we pray, we're asking that we be transformed. And so if we are united with each other in peace, then we're going to be able to, we're seeking to be transformed. We're seeking to be people of peace, instruments, as St. Francis says, instruments of God's peace in the world. That can have a transformative effect.
The Diocese of Brooklyn is working with the Archdiocese of New York and the Commission of Religious Leaders to increase interfaith collaboration. So Friday, October 27th, Holy Hour will begin at 11 o'clock at the Cathedral Basilica of St. James. Noon Mass will follow. It is open to the public, but if you can't make it, you can watch it live right here on Net TV. And that is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.